am so excited to be starting a new channel all about books and to share a massive book haul. Welcome to this house of books. My name is Ashley, and on this channel, I love to share books. I am so excited to start this channel. I have been playing around with it for a while. If you are new and don't follow my other channel, I am also a homeschooling mom to 2 boys. And for the past almost 2 years, I have been sharing homeschool and book content on my other channel, This House of Walls. And that has been great, and I have really enjoyed connecting with other homeschoolers and readers. It came to a point where I needed to separate the 2 contents. I love talking about both, but unfortunately my book videos just kind of got lost in the mix of homeschooling. And it's really unfortunate because I almost like sharing book stuff more. But I decided finally, you know what? I'm going to separate the 2 and I'm going to create a separate book channel. So as always in my videos, I usually have something to drink. I am usually filming like mid-morning, and so I have a coffee that I am holding on to for dear life. It is the evening, so I have a little bit of wine. So I'm going to take a sip and then let's kind of get into it a little bit more. Before we get to my stacks of books, just a little bit of a backstory. I have always been kind of a reader, but I, for years, was reading like free Kindle books, like self-published Kindle books, and I was not enjoying them anymore. I was really struggling. In 2020, I DNF'd more books than I finished. And so January of 2021 came. We were in our first year of homeschooling. My husband was on a deployment because we are a military family as well. And I thought, I need something just for me. So I actually went onto Instagram and found book content on Instagram and found books to read that I actually enjoyed, and I haven't stopped. Last year in 2023, I actually finished 104 books, and I am on point that possibly I might reach 120 books this year, which is amazing. I read anything from, you can see some shelves behind me, so I have a little bit of fantasy and sci-fi down here. I have, this is kind of more like contemporary fiction. Again, a little bit of contemporary fiction, a little bit of YA, some mystery kind of stuff. Up on that shelf, I have a lot of historical fiction, which I have a video coming up for soon. And then I do have another shelf at the very top, and that's kind of just a mix of maybe some historical, some contemporary. I think even I've started putting some fantasy on there. And then on the other side, so I have this bookcase, a TV stand, and then another bookcase. And that is primarily all fantasy and some sci-fi. I also have a hutch in our kitchen that has classics and book of the month. So I read a variety of genres, and it's so much fun. And I think that this book haul will give a really good view into kind of books that I am interested in at this point. So I will try to link it down below. I did a book haul video on my other channel in July. So it has been a long time, and I haven't even counted how many books there are, but there are literal stacks of books here in front of me. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's see. First ones, I'm gonna start with our book subscription boxes. I am, ice cream truck going by, so if you hear that music, that's why. I have been part of Book of the Month for probably since the summer of 2021. So I have a lot of Book of the Month books. I also have a fantastic used bookstore, and so a lot of times I can get them there. So let's see what I have. I have Hera from Jennifer Saint. I actually don't know. Okay, so Hera and her brother Zeus want to overthrow their father, and she thinks that they will rule side by side. But then Zeus's behavior is shown, and she is relegated to the role of wife and mother. So a really fun Greek mythology retelling. So there's that one. And then I have The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. I was on a romance kick for a while and kind of fell off, but I'm kind of dipping my toes back in. This one sounds fun though. A recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. That sounds really fun. I may have to pick this up this month if I can find time for it, because that sounds like a lot of fun. My next is A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. This is a gothic retelling, and I can't remember what the story is. Cordelia knows her mother is unusual. Their house doesn't have any doors between rooms. There are no secrets in this house. And her mother doesn't allow Cordelia to have a single friend. Interesting. And then they move, and then she has to try to protect her mother. Sounds really interesting. Heads up, I buy books based on their cover and very little knowledge about what they're about. If it's a repeat author like T. Kingfisher, it'll be like an auto buy. But most of the time, I like to just kind of have an idea about what the book is about and then go into it pretty blindly. So I will not give great descriptions before I read a book. All right, then I have The Love Elixir of Augusta Stern by Linda Cohen Leugman. So this looks like it will be dual timeline following a woman as she moves into assisted care living and maybe rekindles a flame with a past love. So could be fun. Then I am dipping my toes into some more like romantic-y kind of settings, and you'll see that probably like more towards the end of this book haul. But I have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Phantasma only has 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. Interesting. So it looks like she has to save her family and try to not fall in love, but you know, it's a romantasy, and this is really pretty. The last one that I have, I actually got from my used bookstore, but it sounded really fun. It's The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. So it kind of has mixed reviews on Goodreads, but it was more that it was kind of funny and more lighthearted than what people were wanting, and I am kind of here for that. Rival ornithologists hunt through England for a rare magical bird in this historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but with manners, tea, and helicopter parasols. That sounds like a lot of fun. So that is it for my book of the month. I do have a really recent haul from Aardvark Books. They are a lot newer. Actually, they are only 2 years old. I've ordered from them a couple times and then kind of put my membership on hold. And then I started it back up for some reason. But then I ended up not using it. So I actually got 2 books this month. And along with that, I got a cute bookmark because it's 2-year anniversary, so super cute. So the first book that I got is The City in Glass by Inge Vo. I hope I said that right. This is a really short book. It sounds really, really interesting. A demon, an angel, a city. I'm intrigued already. A City in Glass is both a brilliantly constructed history and an epic love story of death and resurrection, memory and transformation, redemption and desire, strong enough to reduce a world to ashes and remake it anew. That sounds amazing. And then this is where that kind of like romance element is kind of coming back in. I have not read the first one by this author, but I think I need to pick it up sometime soon. But this is My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. So she also wrote My Roommate is a Vampire, and it has like very similar vibes on the front. Love at first bite. That's what it says on the front. Nothing sucks more than fake dating a vampire in this paranormal romantic comedy. And it's signed! How cool is that? That's amazing! Alright, I'm really excited. You know, like, I find more and more that these, like, lighter, kind of like rom-com, kind of low-stakes books are really nice. They're just a nice break in between more serious books. I also really appreciate aardvark and how they make their books. So it's, I don't know what the word is, but it's not like the paper feeling as normal hard copies. Like, it's really smooth. I really like how they do their books. I don't know that their books are always my taste, but I would like to explore it a little bit more. All right, that is all of my book subscriptions. So my next stack is a mixture of contemporary fiction, historical fiction, and I have one, I guess it would be like thriller mystery. I have The Authenticity Project by Claire Pooley. I read Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting last year and really enjoyed it, so I want to read more by this author. I was actually able to pick it up at a thrift store for $2.98. So that is fantastic. The story of a solitary green notebook that brings together 6 strangers and leads to unexpected friendship and even love. That sounds fantastic. I love like found family kind of books, and Iona Iverson really had that feeling, so I'm excited for that. And then it's funny that this book is in this haul because it was actually this author that I read in the very beginning of 2021 that started this. But I have The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. So I read The Midnight Library. I've read it now twice and love it. And I'm really excited to pick this one up. He was not thinking that he would ever write again. He deals with addiction and depression, but he was inspired and decided to write this, and I'm really glad that he did. What looks like magic is simply a part of life we don't understand yet. All right, so you're following a retired math teacher, and she's left a rundown house on a Mediterranean island by a long-lost friend. And she goes there and searches for answers about her friend's life and how it ended. Filled with wonder and wild adventure, this is a story of hope and the life-changing power of a new beginning. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So I'm really hoping to get to this soon. This next book I saw in a video from a creator of a homeschool curriculum that my kids use, and she's using it with her daughter this year, and I decided to pick it up for myself. But it is The Indifferent Stars Above, a harrowing saga of the Donner Party by Danielle James Brown. I am intrigued. I guess, I don't know if it reads like a nonfiction or, yeah, it kind of looks like it will be very nonfiction. Which I am not a huge reader of, but I think that this is an intriguing enough of a story that I will read it. Then I have Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. So this is another one that I got for $2.98 at the thrift store. I have now read 2 or 3 Ruta Sepetys books and really enjoy them. I am burnt out on historical fiction, but somehow she finds stories that aren't normally told in fiction books and brings it to life. So this is a gripping novel of survival and hope in the darkest of places. So it looks like it takes place Soviet secret police, Lithuania, thrown into a cattle car en route to Siberia. I am intrigued and definitely want to read this. This one I found used at my local used bookstore, so decided to pick it up. And that is The Outlaw Noble Salt by Amy Harmon. So I've read a couple of books by her. Forget their names now. All right, I've read What the Wind Knows and Where the Lost Wander. And I really, really enjoyed it. And this one is following Butch Cassidy, which is not a story that I know much about, but I think it would be fun to read about. My next three are all going to go together. And I think that at the beginning of next year, I am going to spend some time and read these. First, I have Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, obviously by Mark Twain. I have read them before. I know definitely I read Huckleberry Finn maybe in like 6th or 7th grade, and it stuck with me enough. I have read kind of like adapted versions of Tom Sawyer with my kids, but I want to read the full versions just for me, because then I would like to pick up James by Percival Everett. And so this is a brilliant reimagining of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, both harrowing and ferociously funny, told from the enslaved Jim's point of view. So I think my goal is that I want to read all of these and just experience it. Whew, this is going to be a long first video. All right, my next is a thriller mystery. This was picked for one of my in-person book clubs. Heads up, I am part of 2 in-person book clubs, but this is First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I have seen this cover. I don't read a lot of thriller mysteries on my own, but this particular book club likes to, so I'm here for it. Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. That actually sounds really intriguing. I'm interested. I have to do some rearranging of books, and then we're going to get into my by far largest stack of fantasy and a little bit of sci-fi. I have rearranged. I'm going to take another sip of my wine and let's get into it. All right, so my only sci-fi books that I have are Ancillary Justice and Ancillary Mercy by Anne Leckie. So this is book 1 and 3 of this. I believe it is like a space opera. It has won a ton of awards. On a remote icy planet, the soldier known as Breck is drawn closer to completing her quest. Act of treachery has ripped it all away, leaving her with one fragile human body, unanswered questions, and a burning desire for vengeance. Cool. All right. And I was able to find both of them at my local used bookstore. Even better. My next 2 are Dark Academia. I have kind of dabbled in Dark Academia before, but it is the perfect time of year to read it. So the first one I have is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Lesson 1 of the Schoolomance. Oh, I found this one at a local used bookstore too. So I have heard, so I feel like this is like a magical school or something, but like everybody is out to kill each other. And it is high stress, but really good. So there's that one. This one I actually just started listening to today because I was going for a walk and I needed a good book to start. And this was on my fall TBR books, which maybe in a next video or so I will kind of do a tour of all my books and book cart and stuff like that. But I have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. You're following 7 actors who do plays. I am really just in the start of it, but I think something has happened because you get a little glimpse of one of them being in jail and about to be let out. So I am intrigued. All right, I have a little stack of a little bit cozier. Now, this first one I think is a little hard to say that it's cozy because they tend to write like darker, but somehow it also comes off as cozy. But this is Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, so another one by her. Not all curses should be broken. So I think that this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Oh, it isn't. Okay, so it says, there's a princess trapped in a tower. This isn't her story. Oh my gosh, are you following of Toad? Oh, I'm here for it. That sounds... Oh, look at the cover. How cool. Okay, yep. I think that this one is going to have to be read really soon. This was also bought used. This one came as a recommendation from my aunt, so thank you so much for this. I cannot wait to start it. But this is Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. So you are following ST, which I don't think I can say what that stands for here. Let's say poop turd, and you can interpret ST. He's a domesticated crow whose owner starts acting very mysteriously and eyeballs start popping out. So he has to leave his comfort and figure out what is going on, how he can save his owner. It sounds like it will be a really cute book. There is a second book, so I am hoping that if I love this one, I will pick up the second one. Then I have Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. Pretty cover and spine, everything. I read 2 TJ Klune books last year, and one of them, I loved both of them, but one of them was my favorite book of last year, and that was Under the Whispering Door. But I also really loved House in the Cerulean Sea. So I'm really excited to pick this up. I am glad that I haven't yet, because I think I was kind of expecting it to like be a prequel, but I think it follows the same timeline, but you're just following Arthur, who is the headmaster of magical children. And so you meet him in the first book and you meet the children and everything like that. But this is in his point of view. So I'm really excited. My last little cozy book is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. First, this cover. Oh my gosh, I love it. A lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spellbooks, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. I mean, I am here for it. Like a Hallmark rom-com full of mythical creatures and fueled by cinnamon rolls and magic, The Spell Shop will heal your heart and feed your soul. And it's also sprayed edges. So fun. Now for kind of heavier fantasy. This one was used as well. I have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have been waiting to read this because I know it is YA, but I also know it is beloved by lots and lots of people. So I decided when I found it used, I will pick it up and give it a try. All right, Soldier, Summoner, Saint. So you're following a young soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold. And she has to enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains. And I know, it's the first of 3 for a trilogy, so I'm excited to pick it up. This one I also got used, but this is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I have heard amazing things about this. It's a chunk, but I am excited. Fortune favors the bold, magic favors the liar. First in a trilogy, dazzling and darkly magical fantasy adventure. Cool. Then last month, or the month before, I read The Bone Shard Daughter, so I picked up The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. I'm hesitant to get into this. I loved the first book. I think I gave it 5 stars. And I've heard a lot of people who love the first book, and then the rest of the trilogy just kind of flops for them. So I'm really hoping that's not the case. It's hard to tell what this one is about because it's the second book in the series, but the world and magic system in this was really interesting, and you're following a lot of different perspectives, but somehow it all makes sense and then connections are made. It was fantastic for the first book, and I'm really hoping to like the second one. I think that this next book is my most intimidating book of this book haul. I feel like all the other ones, you know, they might get a little serious, but not too serious. This is a chunk, but it is The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. So this is the first in the Magician's trilogy, and it is a novel about King Arthur. So I have to admit, like, I kind of know the story of King Arthur and the Round Table and everything, but not a ton. So I might do a little bit of like refreshing my brain about the story before I pick this up, but I am excited about this. Oh, this is I remembered. Okay. It's an aardvark book. So this is why I restarted my subscription a few months ago, because I wanted to pick this up, and so I did. Again, like, there's something about their books that they just have like really nice quality to them. I wish that they would do some sprayed edges and stuff, but all right, that's why I kept trying to refresh my brain earlier, being like, why did I restart Aardvark? This is it. My last little stack of books is probably leaning more YA to new adult, and they're all kind of romantic-y. So it's definitely something that I just kind of want to check out a little bit more, to see if it's something that would interest me. The first one I found used, and so I decided to pick it up. And the cover it's beautiful, but it's also ridiculous. So is the title. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. I mean, alright, you know, like, spice trader Cinnamon's quiet life is turned upside down when she ends up on a quest with a fiery demon in this irreverently quirky rom-com fantasy that is sweet, steamy, and funny as hell. Okay, like, that sounds good. Alright, this one was a total, like, I saw it on a video and decided, yep, alright, I'm gonna buy it. But it is A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacey S. Dark, and this is the first in Kingdom of Lies. So, pretty. I actually have no idea what it's about. For years, when I fell asleep, I dreamed of a man with blazing green eyes and a cruel smile. Okay, I'm intrigued. So there's that. And then I just got Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, Her Deadliest Enemy or Her Greatest Love. I've heard mixed things about this, but I do love a good enemies to lovers, and that is what this says. So enemies to lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. Okay. And then I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, Hunted, Hunter, Destined for Each Other. So this looks like another enemies to lover. Looks like it'll have an interesting society, and there's maybe some trials with a prince. Okay, I am interested. And then my very last book, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. But I will leave it with The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lindy. And again, beautiful sprayed edges. Oh, the back says, there are legends in our world, tales of beasts and beauties, creatures and stories that could keep you up at night, of monsters born. All these stories you've heard come from a kernel of truth. Ooh, like some maybe... Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the... All right. I don't get, like, book subscription boxes that send me, like, really pretty books. So this is my prettiest book. I am really excited about that. Okay, the back pages are the same. So that is really cool. Ooh. Can you love the dark when you know what it hides? Some things aren't supposed to exist outside your imagination. Ooh, it's like post-apocalyptic. Oh yeah, that's New York City. Okay. I am here for it. I definitely want to try it out. Whew. Okay. Made it. So usually in like TBR videos or little book hauls, stuff like that, I will try to hold all of them up. I will not do that here. I will put a number right here of how many books were in this book haul. I am hoping to do like a monthly book haul. Not all of them will be this big, for sure. Like, this was months of buying books. And I also had my birthday month, so there was a lot of book buying. But I am so excited to get this channel up and running. So if you like this or anything else that I might be sharing here for book content, please like and subscribe down below, and I will be back for more soon.